My boyfriend, 23 male, whipped headphones off my head and got in my face. 22 female. Long story short, my boyfriend wakes up super angry in the morning and there's nothing you can do to help him. If he's especially stressed out, he'll take that out verbally on you. Today was no different. I took care of our dog and put my daughter for a nap. I decided to wind down and play some video games. Boyfriend wakes up and he's angry I didn't take out my dog earlier. I couldn't because I was on toddler duty, and did it when I was able. He then said I'm incapable of taking care of an animal. That I'm dumb and stupid, and he doesn't know why he decided to start dating someone that's a child. He also went on to say he wish he never dated me and would rather left me. That he's only here for my daughter and if I didn't have her, he would have left ages ago. All of this came out all 'cause I genuinely couldn't take my dog out when he wanted to. Whatever. I put on my headphones. Now he's going to do his taxes today since he's been complaining he hardly has money, then kept asking me where I put his tax forms since they come in the mail. I tell him that if any mail comes in that's his. I give it to him and don't open it. He doesn't believe me and says I'm stupid again, only to ask for our mail key since I'm too incompetent to have it. Whatever. I'm tired of the yelling and anger so I put on my gaming headphones and blast music. I tell him calmly I can't hear him, and when he calms down we can talk. This angers him and he angrily whips the headphones off my head and said, "Can you hear me now?" And I told him to never touch me like that again. Then when I said that, he got right in my face and tried riling me up to get angry. I just told him to stop and started to ignore him. Now he's puttering around the house saying things about me and being vulgar, verbally abusive. I'm not too sure what to do anymore. I suggested therapy and medication with him a week ago when he was in a good mood. He was gonna consider it. Then the next day he said he didn't need it as his feelings and reactions are justified. I've been with him for 5 years on and off. I can't support me and my daughter on my own. Moving in with family isn't an option and I can't go to a shelter either as that can cause issues with my daughter's biodad. He sawed me too, but that's not admissible in court. I can't wait until I finish college and get my finances together. Any tips to help me get through until then? Edit. I didn't realize this would get the attention it did. Now I do know this is abuse. It's very evident and I'm not stupid. Unfortunately I have tried my avenues of moving out. Just none are possible until I finish my college course, which is online and can be done in less than 1 year. And I was more so looking for tips on how to keep the peace until then. Most of my friends are also not doing good and are trying to get out of toxic situations, find a place to stay themselves. I do not want to post my whole life on Reddit, but my family life isn't that great either and is also not an option. I have no immediate family in my city other than 6 hours away, and the shelter I have called repeatedly in the last month. They are very full and not much they can do other than put me on a wait list. My daughter's bio dad is not really in the picture, but he is also abusive, hence why I really need custody of my daughter. I have gone to a lawyer about this, and in Canada there is not much I can do since text messages are not admissible in court. It would be a he said, she said unless I had a R-word kit done at the time he assaulted me. Right now I am saving up funds that I can gather to get enough money to get a few months worth of rent when I do move out so I'm not struggling financially right away. Though I will say this, I am not dumb nor stupid for being in the situation I am. Some of the comments were kinda rude and hurt. I am actively seeking to move out and it is not like I want to stay in this situation. I just wanted advice on how to keep the peace until then. This sounds like a terribly toxic individual. At face value you should be taking steps to remove you and your child from this situation as statistically speaking the violence will continue to grow. Search your city for a women's clinic or place that will give you some help. Also as you move toward that goal you need to cut contact with that person. I know it won't be easy but you just need to take this one step at a time and always keep moving forward. Your child and you deserve better than this. I hope you can gather the strength to push out of this. If possible you should go live with a relative or friends, bring the dog and child with you. It's clear he has anger issues. You don't deserve to have someone yell and scream at you, telling you you're stupid and that he wishes he left you. That's not the environment to raise a child in. Yeah, I'd rather eat nails than go back to my mom's, but I'd definitely rather go stay at my mom's than be abused in front of my daughter while she's learning, seeing his behavior. First of all you're in school so I'm sure you'll probably qualify for low-income apartments or something. Single moms have tons of housing opportunities. Do not think you're out of options. Start living your new life that you and your daughter deserve to have. End it and kick him out. He is beyond disrespectful and abusive. Have some self-respect. You are showing your daughter that it is okay to accept abusive behavior. Are you able to be out of the house when he wakes up? How long until you're out of college? F30 left at amusement park M30. Yesterday my family had a planned trip to a local amusement park. My 3 kids under 11 were all very excited. We waited for school to finish and started to drive there. About an hour and a half away. While in the car, as we got closer I decided to play some lighthearted, would you rather. We often play this with my oldest. I asked my husband, would you rather see Taylor Swift in concert or Harry Styles, knowing he hates both of them? He answered Taylor Swift, which surprised me as he seems to hate her more. I laughed and said I was surprised, and he explained he doesn't want to see Harry Styles in a dress. I said, well, I am hardcore judging you RN, you'd be at a concert with majority 15-30 years old women. Again. Laughing. And he lost it. I explained I was joking and it was light-hearted, and to be honest I didn't care either way. I mean, really it's a game and a joke. It didn't make me love him less or more. I personally like both Taylor and Harry. And listen to them regularly. He turned the car around, making my middle child cry as they were extremely excited for the day. Then he told them, Mommy's being stupid. I said I was sorry I hurt his feelings and admitted my joke was maybe a bit harsh, but that comment to our child was unnecessary. He ended up taking me and the kids to the amusement park but leaving us there. I decided ultimately it was best for me to just spend the time with my kids who were extremely excited to be there and didn't understand what had happened. Having 3 kids at a park, with age gaps, was very difficult and distracting, but he did text me saying he was upset and hurt. I explained again, that I was sorry and I meant it as a joke and I didn't mean to hurt his feelings at all. But was happy to take responsibility for hurting him and apologized over and over before eventually saying I couldn't text, push the stroller, and give the kids the attention they deserved so I would see him when he picked me up. He said he would come back at close, roughly 3 hours. He continued to text me saying he didn't believe I was joking or that I was sorry. Which hurt my feelings. I am not sure why I would apologize if I didn't mean it. Or lie about it being a joke. It was all very hypothetical, so in my eyes, very obviously a joke. I didn't appreciate being told I wasn't being sincere when I was, and had practically begged him to believe me at that point. But eventually I left it alone, giving myself time and him too. In honest all hopes, he'd come around and show up and understand I was sorry. He did come at close, helped get the kids in the car but asked me to drive home. I went through a drive-through, got food for me and the kids, he didn't want to eat with us, and went home. We both got the kids in bed. He cooked himself dinner, I showered and he watched TV in the living as I went to bed. He eventually came to bed, saying very little to me. I stayed quiet as I was afraid. Today I am feeling very confused. I get wanting space from your spouse when you are upset with them, but I personally would never bail on a planned family day. I wonder, is that just a me thing? Or if my joke really crossed a line? I am known to be harsh, I try to be aware of that, but I felt I was obviously joking. If nothing else, my laughing gave it away. Can't decide if it is wrong for me being hurt too. I feel it's so hard to be with someone who doesn't believe you when you say sorry. When he makes rude joke that hurt me, I usually say something like, whoa, too far, or, that hurts, and he often just says, it's just a joke, or, don't be so sensitive. He says that he can't feel upset because the relationship isn't fair, but I never get an apology for his rude jokes, which happen often, and if he says, it's just a joke, geez, I drop it. Even if it hurt me. The park with 3 kids was draining. And to drive home after it. I am exhausted and confused. Some backstory. This is the first time for this scenario, but not the first time we have fought like this. Wow. Mommy's acting stupid? Has he apologized? Not only for that but for completely overreacting and ruining a fun day. You have a marriage that is in trouble. I strongly suggest couples counseling. What a massive asshole. Reading comments. Husband is usually irrational and angry, just not this irrational. Wife is terrified of making him upset, thinks she's overly harsh, constantly apologizing for his wild reactions. Ma'am, this is an epitome of an abusive relationship. You're dependent on him, he makes you grovel, puts you down in front of children, acts like his crap doesn't stink while punishing you for petty crap. This is abuse, pure and simple. That is abusive behavior, and he is acting like more a child than the ones you took the park alone. He better apologize and get himself into therapy. He sounds unhinged. Does he usually fly off the handle over nothing? Is he always homophobic and misogynistic? This sounds manipulative and abusive to me, and telling your child he's hurting the whole family because you're stupid? Major red flag. My 26F boyfriend, 26M, hid a major decision from me for a month. My 26F boyfriend of 3 years, 26M, hasn't settled on a career path. He made the decision to become a firefighter, went to EMT school and began taking exams for a few departments, one of the departments being in my hometown, 1.5 hours away from where we both live and his family lives. When our relationship began, it was a mutual agreement that when we settled down we would move back to my hometown to plant roots and start a family, and we were really hoping for a call from that department. After one round of hiring with no call to him, my mom spoke with connections in the department that she knew personally. He made my boyfriend's intentions known so that he would hopefully get a call the next round. He scored 100 on the exam and passed all physical etc. requirements with flying colors, but it is difficult to get in while residing so far away, as departments can see it as using them to get in and through the academy and then transfer back home. To cut to the chase, my boyfriend got a call over a month ago and chose to turn it down. He did not consult me or tell me about his decision and hid it from me for a month. I heard about the next round of hiring as I had an old friend who was hired and beginning the academy 3/29. I asked my boyfriend in early April if he was sure they hadn't called or that he didn't miss anything in the mail because I couldn't understand why he didn't get called, and he assured me he was positive he didn't hear, lying to my face. The reason he declined the offer isn't why I'm upset. He had good reason. I'm upset because he made a decision that was going to heavily impact our future without letting me be a part of it. He did not tell me about it. He lied to me when asked about it, and I feel he was deceitful the past month knowing how much he was hiding from me. To clarify, the reason he didn't tell me is not because he didn't feel I would understand or support his decision. He knew from the moment he brought up firefighting that I had concerns on how he would mentally handle that role, as did he. So if ultimately that led him to change his mind about doing it, which bottom line was his reason, he knew I would be supportive. He does not have a logical explanation for why he hid it. Besides, I made the decision on my own without realizing we should have made it together, realized I was very wrong when it was too late, and was afraid of how upset you'd be, so I put off telling you. The push to tell me when he did came from my mom finding out through her connection that he turned it down. My mom thought he had mistaken names because she knew how upset I was, and assured him there's no way he turned it down, only to call my boyfriend and ask him straight. She pointed out his deceit toward me, and he confessed to me 3 days later. I don't know if I'm being too hard on him, but I don't know how I can move past this. We've had an otherwise strong relationship. But I don't know if I'm being naive to commit to a future with someone who is able to lie to my face and hide something of that magnitude from me for so long. I'm also feeling as though he doesn't see us as working toward our future together, since he made a decision that held so much weight behind my back without even allowing me to be a part of it. TLDR. Serious boyfriend of 3 years made a major career decision behind my back and hid it from me for a month, lied about it when asked. Integrity is admitting to mistakes made or lies told and trying to repair the damage. We are all flawed humans. Sometimes people lie in a panic. No one is perfect. We don't need or expect perfection. What you can and should demand is integrity. This man has shown you he lacks it. It's not a decision you should have made together. That's the problem. He can discuss the decision with you and use your input, but it's ultimately his decision. You should really ask yourself why he feels comfortable talking to you about it. Why he didn't want to involve you in it. You should do some introspection on how you approach these kinds of topics. If he feels uncomfortable talking to you, it might be about you, not him. How long was he planning on not telling you? Honestly, he may be chronologically 26, but he's acting way younger. If you want stability and to start life, it won't be with him for at least another 10 years. I agree with you. It is either that is simply tying with lying to you, on which case there are other things he has lied to you about. Alternatively, it is as you say, and he does not see you as part of his life decision-making process. This speaks for his lack of commitment to you. If you combine it with mentally exhausting, for him, and emotionally exhausting for you as his partner, career path, then I don't see your relationship surviving. If something comes up in his life, he will prioritize his preferable choices over your life together. Obviously, this is not acceptable if you were to start a family. He didn't feel comfortable telling you he didn't want to be a firefighter. Perhaps because not only you but your mother were totally invested in him going that direction? He was either afraid to disappoint you or afraid of being nagged, lectured. If he felt you'd both be understanding and supportive, then he's just a sneak. 18 male, went on a date with 20 female and now my coworkers hate me. Hi everyone, hope you are all having a great day. I have posted this story on social anxiety, so I apologize in advance if you are having to read this again. A bit about me first. I'm 18, almost 19, and have had little to no romantic experience with women. I do not suffer from any sort of inability to speak with women. In fact, some of my closest friends are women, it's just that I don't understand flirting. I will be referring the new girl as Ing for this story. Anyway, to preface this story, I've just come out of university to take a break and restart my course. Currently I'm back home and working a full-time job, 40 hours a week, at a supermarket. For the first 2 months, I spoke with everyone, with most of them being around my age, 18-22, and got along well with everyone. Around 3 weeks ago a new girl, Ing, joined and she was incredibly attractive and instantly popular. I didn't interact with Ing much since we work in different sections of the store, but one day she came up to me and began to chat with me about random things like her background and stuff. Ing then asks one of my coworkers for my Instagram and asks me out on a date, as to my shock due to me being an average-looking guy. Our date went well and she said that I was the sweetest guy she'd ever been out with, causing me to become incredibly embarrassed. But it was only after we met up again that she started to talk about what other people were saying. Many of the girls in the store began to criticize my shoes, the way I dress and present myself, saying that I'm not worthy enough for her and that she should date someone who's actually worthwhile. One of them even began to say that I'm likely a virgin with a micropenis and that it'd be embarrassing for her to have to deal with me. Despite me being a virgin, apparently through the way I act, I never thought of it as a disadvantage, an awful thing to be. However, apparently it's a gross thing and a huge red flag. This came as a shock to me, considering the fact that although I'm a reserved person, I always do my best to be polite and respectful of others and never engage in any sort of gossip. Many of the guys working have also chimed in saying that, if Op had a chance with Ing, then I should have asked her out because her standards must have been incredibly low. After this constant barrage of criticism, Ing decided that it's best if we stopped before she gets any more comments about choosing someone like me. I've had support from my best friend and a handful of other lads who also work at the store. What's also interesting is that many of my coworkers are in relationship with one another, so it's not as if dating in work is looked down upon. I would like to say that this post is not me being hateful towards women or anything related to that ideology. I think it's wrong, and spreading hate is never the answer to anything. All I would like is for everyone's personal take on why stuff like this happens, or even to share your own experiences with something like this. Any personal takes on my story would also be most appreciated, and I thank you all for taking time out of your day, and I hope you all stay safe and keep well. Your coworkers suck, and you dodged a bullet with Ing. Incredibly rude of her to pass on those hurtful comments, and significant other weak to be influenced by the opinions of others, when she clearly liked you. Really shows you the depth, or lack thereof, of her character. PLs, don't take this to heart. This is all on them, and not on you. So you never heard any of your coworkers say these things about you? You were told all of this by Ing? Your coworkers suck. Ing isn't much better. She's not mature enough to not care about what other people think and let their crap opinion affect her. From now on, I would keep to yourself. Do your job. Maybe look for another one and don't date coworkers. Hey dude, this is sexual harassment. You are being sexually harassed at work by your colleagues. Go to HR. Seriously. And fuck them. This happened to me when I was in my early 20s. Great date with a guy, we really clicked. Then his best friend, a woman, decided to spread shit about me, all false, because she didn't want him dating anyone. I was upset at the time but got over it. All you can do is chalk this one up to experience. But she shouldn't have told you the details of what they have been saying, and frankly listening to all that and letting it form her opinion of you shows weakness of character.